Black.
He's master of his masters. I can do business with you, right? Master's talking to a master, not a master talking to a slave. So I'm gonna license you my materials. You don't own my materials anymore. I'm gonna take the big chunk over here and own me. That's why I have no issue with people calling him a master mason. You damn right, he's the master of his catalog. He's the master of his words. He's the master of his archives. You feel me? He's the master of the ceremony. Very few artists have been able to achieve this, but the ones that have, we've seen a demise. I'm on 100%, 100. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple the Benz. Change up the circle of friends. The nether will circle the twins. 75 ever since.
Select now, rewind.
Like Prince. Blue purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple.
Hold on. It's playing games, man. I don't know. We're gonna do it righteously. Nah, we're gonna do it righteously.
Shit ain't streaming. Why is it skipping, man? What the fuck is going on?
I was playing a YouTube video, but I got it right now.
He's in control. He's the master of his masters. I can do business with you, right? Master's talking to a master, not a master talking to a slave or sovereign. I'm gonna license you my materials. You don't own my materials anymore. But I'm gonna take the big chunk over here to own me. That's why I have no issue with people calling him a master mason. You damn right, he's the master of his catalog. He's the master of his words. He's the master of his archive. You feel me? He's the master of the ceremony. Very few artists have been able to achieve this, but the ones that have, we've seen a demise. I'm on 100%. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple the Benz. Change up the circle of friends. The nether will circle the twins. 75 ever since. 70 wives in the fence. Red and blue, purple like Prince. 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 We feeling the urge, killing the urge. Brothers electric, we feeling the surge, feeling the words, killing the verse with immunity, pillars of unity. This is the moment of Ultron. This is the age of the Ultron. This is the same stage as the Pope bomb. This is the stage you can smoke on. Copper pound, came on the scene, I was copper down. All I was missing was copper crown. Summer 16 after copper brown, look for revenge in the copper town. Captain Jersey and copper crown. 21 guns, a little chopper sound. My power pieces, the crystals be talking, the brother be talking. King County, Tony, and King of New York, and the Christopher walking, the missiles and walking. Pieces be talking, 21 hammers with country, the grammar, the broken, the English. I'm on 100%. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple the Benz. Change up the circle of friends. The nether will circle the twins. 75 ever since. 70 wives in the fence. Red and blue, purple like Prince. 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 Charges of federal, offers incredible, markers indelible, sparkers of physical, sparking of medical, sparkers on pedestal, trucks for that revenue, hawks for what's edibles, hard for the vegetables, hard as the festivals, hard no cholesterol, sharp on those episodes. I'm on 100%. I like when summer begins. I need my hundreds and tens. I need 100%. I'm independent like bricks. I'm on 100%. I like when summer begins. I need my hundreds and tens. I need 100%. I like when summer begins. Whoa, I'm on 100%. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple the Benz. Change up the circle of friends. The nether circle the twins. 75 ever since. 70 wives in the fence. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple like Prince.
Prince.
So you
Chill.
have it.
I'm gonna bomb.
Classic. Boom! A classic off of a classic album, Scorpion King. The
certified turn up.
Yeah, certified turn up. I had to do Prince. I had to do Purple Like Prince on a Friday because of the Aquarius new moon. It's only right, you know what I'm talking about? So we had to open that up with that Prince. You know, sometimes you forget you got classics because you out here making new classics. But on the while I'm making this new album, huh?
Yeah, talk about it. I'm listening.
Yeah, and then while I'm in the stew putting together Scorpion King, you know, I'm playing my classics, and the new music that I make got to stand up to certain classics. So, you know, Prince is something real heavy. That's.
I forgot. I was listening to an artist the other day. It might have been Fabulous, might have been somebody else. You know, these are artists that I respect. I respect Fabulous as a lyricist. Yeah, you know, and they were talking about the process of making new music. You know what I'm saying, and the fact that they'll let their old project play in the process while they're in the studio, and then they have a gauge. I think it was Drake, matter of fact. Right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Fabulous, but I think it was Drake who said that he would gauge his new material against classic albums, and they have to balance out.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah. That's the process. I've been listening to a lot of the Twin album as well. Just getting that concept in my mind about, you know, how the fuck can you add on to this? You know what I'm saying? Like, and top it. You know, of course. I mean, I don't know if you can necessarily top a classic. You know what I'm saying? It's best to say, how can you add on to this, or even going in a totally different direction to create a totally different sound? Because, you know what I mean? I be hearing like when artists be like, yo, that album was the culmination of my life leading up to that album.
Yeah. But
and they squeezed the whole sponge out. You feel me?
Yeah,
that shit has 23 tracks in it.
Exactly. But the beautiful thing about albums are they capture time. You know, they capture they're time capsules. You know, they're time machines. They're time capsules. You know, they define time periods. So to get back in the 90s state of mind, I could program myself by listening to a 90s mixtape by DJ Clue, or listening to a 90s album that had a significant memory inputs, you know, every time that those albums played. And our organic streaming, our streaming is attached to memories. So I remember the first time I played Slick Rick, The Ruler, and MC Ricky D. And I remember playing it at AA's crib. We had somebody watching the door. We had to look out at the door. Yo, and we had that like volume 3 with the headphones because it was.
I did an interview yesterday, right? And we was talking about the new music wave in terms of the Crips, right? We was doing an analytical look at the emergence of Crip culture in music.
Brooklyn drill is what it's called.
Bi-coastal. No, bi-coastal. We talking Rowdy Rich. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We talking Blueface. You know, as well as what's going on in New York. So
give it a post Nipsey.
Hold on. Calm down.
All right.
So we were just evaluating it and just taking a look at cultural aesthetics. How, to me, I said, you know, I can tell the story, regions, and fashion. So we telling our story, and I get down to the fact that, you know, regional, because regional deals with slang and dialect as well. That's regional. Deals with a particular aesthetic as well. and I was talking about America's Most Wanted. I saw my Ice Cube, right? And just the impact. Because, you know, first I was telling them about Kanye, right, in the interview that I did with Kanye. And I was with videographers. Shout out to Uncle Tunes, my brother Matheno Bay, and his partner Mark. So they had their video cameras with them. And I said, man, one of the best things that happened to me is that when I went to interview Kanye at Quad Studio, I didn't bring my camera. So I had to come back the next day. And when I came back the next day, he had Scarface in the studio making music for Scarface. But he was doing the shit the producers do. You know, they got to cue their instruments and all of that. Or the beat or whatever he was doing was taking time. So Scarface started talking. And then I told him, I said, before I know it, I'm sitting Indian style with Scarface on the floor of a studio, and he's playing the guitar, telling me that he just converted to Islam. I'm like, nigga, you. I'm like, you Mr. Scarface. So I was telling them, I was like, nigga, I remember the day, what I had on, where I was at, what temperature it was, what color, you know, like everything about the very first time that I heard Mr. Scarface album.
That's
remember? Wine never dispo, wine never dispo, wine. Nigga had the shotgun on the
cocaine. Rewinding it. Yeah. He had the shotgun on his.
That was the he had the shotgun in the shit. It was Thanksgiving. We was going to our family to eat, and it was in Jersey, right? We was going to the family in Jersey. They was in the Oranges. We had just came through the fucking the tunnel, and I think they might have pulled over to get gas. Yo, that memory is crystallized in my mind. So I was telling them it was because of the acoustics of the production. It cut through my mentality in a way that it froze my mind. And plus, I never heard a Southern rapper rapping like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mr. Scarface, that album was amazing. Yeah. And then I said the second time that happened to me was the very first time I heard Ice Cube, America's Most Wanted. And I said, I remember that day like it was yesterday. We had to listen it towards the window in A.A. Rashid's crib, because his mother was in the back, and and it had curses in it, and we couldn't listen to curses. So we had to sneak to America's Most Wanted, and that was the most, you know, I remember the acoustics because of the Bomb Squad, the way that they produced that album. You could hear the glass break, like it was just sonically, it was amazing.
Amazing, and at that point, and it spoke to where all of us were at mentally, you know, both in the culture, curating the culture, and information-wise, because Khaled was on the project, Ice Cube, gangster rapper who went street conscious,
Even taking full circle, the day that he called me the other day to tell me about something else, right? And I'm like, yo, I was like, guess who I seen earlier today? He was like, who? I said, Kumo D, nigga. I was in the gym with Kumo D. I said, yo, I'm building with Kumo D. And I'm like, the last time I seen you, right? My brother and my cousin was unveiling a mural in Harlem, and you walk up. He was like, nigga, I used to live on 144 from Broadway. I was like, oh shit. Y'all unveiled that mural on 144 from Broadway. Because he came out of his crib. He had on powder blue, right? He was looking clean as a whistle. And he had jumped in the foreign and sped off. And that was like, we seen like an 800-foot giant. Like, some was legendary back then, because this had to be like 90 or 91.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And he was the first. I think I had met first one at some point on Westminster. He was in a red BMW, right? But now I found out, because I got a friend whose father he used to come and see when he was over there. So he was moving them things, right? They had the LBs in the trunk. So That explained why he was getting the fuck up out of there when we ran up on him. But I think like Kumo D, he might have been the closest rapper that I had ever got into, you know, in terms of closeness and proximity to at the time. But yeah, that was just crazy. You feel me? That it would come full circle like that. And I was, you know what I'm saying, the other day in the gym, and he lived on 144th. You feel me? So yeah, man. Kumo D is a legend, you know, and I'm glad to see that he's still with us. He was in the boxing gym, he's getting his thing together. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know what happened to Red. He'll be back. He'll be back. Well, peace, love, and light to the chat. The Ledge Media / Know the Ledge TV. You are now rocking with the best. You know, we have a good episode. You know what I'm saying? We got a good episode for y'all. This vainglorious day. All right, this is a very special day in this calendar year. This is the very first day of Aquarius. Okay, shout out to all of the Aquariuses in the house. Aquarius is some amazing people. Like some of the most special people I know are Aquariuses. You know, got love for Aquariuses. I see a lot of Capricorn y'all energy as well, because they're about their business. You know what I'm saying? Yes, and shout out to all 1,100 of y'all who attended the last episode that we did the other day on Wednesday on the 22nd with Baba Valentine, Reverend Dr. Phil Valentine. That was an amazing episode. It was a invigorating episode, you know, in terms of just putting the energy back into this platform where it needs to, and really inaugurating this KTL 2020 10-year anniversary season. So I definitely want to say thank you to everybody who made it their business to attend that class, that clinic. All right, because you know a lot of people are benefiting from that information and from that demonstration, and you know whatever feeling has been lost and restored. You know, people needed that. We needed that, and I'm sure that the good Dr. Reverend also needed that. You know what I'm saying, himself, to just be reminded of what his value is in this community and how appreciated he is, and the need and the necessity for his pedigree of information, you know, to be on these airwaves. So we definitely want to say thank you again. Shout out to the Aquariuses. Aquarius are very special people. Aquarius is the sign of humanity, and the Aquarius element and technology, I believe, as well, because of its Uranus placement, Uranus. But Aquarius, amazing people. My grandfather was an Aquarius. You know, one of my business partners, brother Majesty, he's an Aquarius. A lot of dope Aquariuses. Aquarius energy is amazing, and Aquarius equals 44 in gematria. You know, it's one of the two AAs that equal 44. The other being Aries. All right. So the Aquarian, or the 44, the age of 44 is here. The Aquarian energy is strong. And on this day in particular, the Aquarian new moon comes in at 444. All right.
Yeah.
Yes, King Solomon is Aquarius, February 1st. Shout out to King Solomon. He's living his best life. He's in Florida right now, you know, good vitamin D, sun ray energy, being solar activated. You know what I'm saying? And I'm jealous of anybody who got that solar activation going for them right now, because that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? And it's about solar activation. I don't know if that's a segue to talk about, you know, what I want to talk about a little something, you know. But this solar activation energy that I have been speaking of since last year, around the time of the winter solstice, when I got activated, you know, to like start beating this drum and getting on this ministries of the magnificence of that solar energy and how it applies to it. And the fact that we can see our story in it, because all the elders and the ancients always told me as above, so below. So I'm borrowing that script and I'm saying, well, goddamn, if the solar cycle and we are son of the children, if the solar cycle is telling a story that of glory, it's telling a story of glory, and we are in the Jubilee year, you know what I'm saying? Shit. Then if the sun won, if I tie myself to solar activity, then I won as well. If we tie ourselves to the trajectory of the sun, which came into a solar eclipse the day after it came out of the grave or the box, and Rowdy Rich did throw the box out during the time of Saturn, you know what I'm saying? Under the sign of Sagittarius. And his song went #1. Well, anyway, when the sun goes into, when it went into Capricorn and it came out of his 3 days of death, right? And Christmas, it re-arose, and on the 26th, solar eclipse, right?
Yep.
The solar eclipse in the Ring of Fire. Okay, the Ring of Fire made itself known for those to see in Asia,
yep,
in Africa,
in Africa,
in other parts of Europe.
Yep.
And then it immediately, right, started signifying itself on this planet as above, so below. Right, it started immediately signifying itself on this planet by ringing the Ring of Fire earthquake zones. Okay, and then the earthquake zone started erupting and the volcano started going off, and then we started dealing with conjunctions as of you know, what was it, January 12th?
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Solar activation from coronal mass ejection, and then now we find ourselves with the coronavirus, right?
Oh, blacks.
Okay, so I asked, huh?
I said, so blacks.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask the chat the same way that I asked you. You know, what country last year was talking about blocking the sun?
Yep.
Huh?
Survey says it was China.
China.
Indeed.
China last year was talking about blocking the sun. So this is the coronal virus that they say you contract through the eyes. Today, right, as well, is the Chinese New Year. It's a Chinese New Year, the year of the rat. Okay?
Yes.
So today, Chinese New Year, today is also the day that they say that you may see the supernova explosion, because Beetlejuice, right? The superstar Beetlejuice might explode today. And they say in the shoulder of the Orion, the superstar Beetlejuice, in the shoulder of Orion, right? You're going to see a very prominent, so it will be the brightest star in the sky, if in fact, right? So Beetlejuice is a massive star, about 1,000, is probably bigger than 1,000, while bigger than the sun, right? For the very first time, scientists have the opportunity to bear witness to the forming of a supernova, the explosion of a massive star. So that's supposed to happen today. Today is also the new moon, like we said. Today is also the start of the Chinese New Year. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure some other shit going on that we might be missing. But nonetheless, you know, talking about this coronavirus, and I'm looking at automatically popped out with the 44s in China dealing with the coronavirus, right? 444 in particular. Now, as I explained on my post, yeah, I could share angel numbers all day. That's very colorful, new age information, and people get excited about that because they only want to hear about the good shit, right? But the law of 44 is a quantum language. Okay, it's a quantum language. So if you don't incorporate the dualistic and trinary aspects of a number, then you're missing out on the true definition of it. So I take an esoteric approach because I'm taking a number and I'm turning it to a word, and I'm attaching that to a frequency, then I'm going into a color. I'm flipping it all different ways. So in gematria, in Hebrew, right, the number 444, it not only means Messiah, which is synonymous with any corona, right? Because the corona aspect of when the fire ring eclipsed on the 26th, it looked like what? It looked like a halo. It looked like a corona. Every solar eclipse energy, right? And then solstice, as the brother, God's been explained, this summer solstice also is going to culminate in a solar eclipse. And the sun represents Leo. Leo represents Jesus, or the Christ energy. Let's take the word Jesus out of it. The Christos, or the Christ energy, right? On the tree of life, that's the sixth, that's Tepereth, right? Dealing with Christ energy, that's the sun. So any sun activity, any solar activity, especially dealing with Leo energy, hence the fact that, last year when Nipsey died, as a Leo, dealing with on the spring equinox. We already ran through this. I could do it again if I need to, but hey. So
if you have to do it.
Corona energy is, like I said, is dealing directly with that Christ quote unquote energy. You dig what I'm saying? So saying all that, 444 also deals with bloodline. 44 deals with blood, and 444 deals with bloodlines, right? So blood in me, 44, right? We all got blood coursing through us. I have a child, that's an extension of my bloodline. Same way that in Hebrew, 44 means man, woman, and child, which is the bloodline, right? So there's a way that you can just extend it and not lose yourself. So when I saw them throwing the fours up in China, 4 in China is an ominous number. They don't fuck with fours at all. It means death. It means death. So you see them get hit with 444. It's not a good look for them, bro. It's not a good look for them. And I'm telling you, the fact that it's a coronavirus, it has to deal with the children of the sun. That shit is going to jump into either Africa or it's going to jump across the water. Where did they say? I'll show you the article, matter of fact. Right? They said that it just popped up in Chicago.
They said this Chicago.
Right? So, look. Yeah, it's in Chi-Town. Look at the numbers. I'm going to show you this shit just to show y'all. I don't freestyle. I don't freestyle. Right? All my shit, I'm on my 444th prediction. I see my work with Zion the other night. Stop playing. So while we was cooking with Dr. Phil, Zion was fulfilling my prophecy because I said he will be a 44 resonator, not just based on the fact that he got 4.4 million followers, but because he is the one. So he came back on the 22nd, he scored 22 points, and he went 4 for 4 from the 3-point line. I mean, pick another random number to run with and come up with your fucking prediction. You know what I'm saying? People is like, oh, that's just a coincidence. Okay. All right. What about this? Out. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Outbreak overwhelms 40 million quarantine. Spread through eyes. Where did we hear this before? This is beginning to sound.
Case in Chicago. 22 states on alert. So I see a 44 already, because I take it however I could get it. You dig what I'm saying? But you got to understand what the significance of Chicago even is in the law of 44. Chicago was on a 37-degree parallel line. It ties directly into Iraq, Iran, and Turkey on 37-degree parallel line. And it runs through Asia. the 37-degree parallel line, right? Like I said, I could be here just talking Law 44 all day. Oh, but I'm not gonna get into all of that. But I will. Let me do this because I did say something about China was complicit with blocking out the sun. Because now they're gonna have, what are they gonna create? If the disease spreads through the eyes, they're gonna have corona blockers.
Corona blockers. Yeah.
That's gonna be the next technology, right? This is the year of 2020 vision, and they have a fucking disease at the beginning of the year. We not out of January yet. Remember, shit. The Chinese New Year used to fall in it used to fall in February.
Mm-hmm.
The search for climate change hacks is ramping up across the world as the window to reduce greenhouse gas emissions narrows, with scientists in China experimenting with new ways of blocking. Geoengineering is the intentional altering of the planet's climate or Earth changes, not a new concept. The practice has long drawn criticism that despite the inherent dangers of playing God, geoengineering appears to be firmly on the agenda for many entrepreneurs. With a story published by the Fifth Estate in February, noting there are around 800 projects underway worldwide, pollution in the way the climate evolves. Those nations are already feeling the effects of a warming climate, such as China, have an even greater incentive to start investigating proofing options. According to China Dialogue, the nation is focusing its efforts on solar geo in one of two overarching methods for counteracting climate change. You understand? So they already are talking about the sun. Let me see. Solar eclipse 2020. So let's see, where did this eclipse hit? All right, and this was the wolf.
Mm-hmm. The wolf moon.
This was the wolf. This was the wolf that came right after the dog star. And somebody came on my post that day and said, look, we're not calling it the dog star more, we're calling it the wolf. I said, I concur. I can dig it, right? But you don't come under the energy of the wolf. Somebody else do. Hence the fact that we was talking about what? This is our anniversary. I did election Boston called Rome. After we presented that lecture, and it snowed for 2 months straight, and they got hit by something called a snowpocalypse. Now, these are verifiable facts, because they didn't have snow in the forecast when we started. It just started drizzling, and it never stopped. Right?
So fact.
We were talking about that. Talking about that Rome energy. We was in New England, exposing the Rome agenda. Like, look. This is how they're getting it all.
And I familiar when the evolution
I had
to be digitized.
I went long-winded, yeah. I went long-winded. I went over time. I took some arrest time. He was tight with me.
That I was.
But I was on a roll. I was on a roll. I was getting my shit off. And then it started snowing and it never stopped. All right. It was a 4-hour eclipse. Okay? 4-hour eclipse that went over Asia, Australia, Europe, and Africa. Now, what the fuck? We just seen what happened in Australia.
Wow.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We just seen what happened in Australia. Now we're looking what's going to take place in Asia, right? Europe is going through it too. They got crazy floods out there. Shit that they ain't seen in a lifetime already. Right?
They got swarms in Russia. They got locust swarms in Russia and Africa, stuff like that.
They got snow conditions. I think they said it's supposed to snow for it. Just it's wild style shit going on. You know what I'm saying?
Sort of
It's
floods
wild
in Spain.
style shit going on. My only concern is when we talk about this narrative of the story is about our return to glory. What took place in Ghana itself, right, fulfills prophecy. They did $1.9 billion in a few days. That wasn't even for the entire month of December. So the children of the sun go back to the Gold Coast. This is all dealing with solar symbolism, right? Gold, water, no, yeah, all that gold, anything synonymous with the sun and gold. You know what I'm saying? They talking about you. They could be talking about you, right? They should be talking about you if you know who you are, right? So all that activity taking place. You know, my concern is, like I said, that they don't interrupt the ceremony that's taking place on the continent because they get it on the continent. They haven't slowed down. It's niggas over here that don't know that they motherfucking, you know, in the glory days. You gotta convince niggas over here that this shit is like, yo, son, something shifted, something happened. You're supposed to be celebrating. Can't nothing stop you. You undefeated. You gotta convince these niggas of that shit. The continent is celebrating. They ain't slowed down yet, and they not gonna slow down. They all the way up. So I don't want to see something like this jump over the ocean, or you know, because Africans are already in China, so they are the most easiest to be susceptible to any sort of disease and take back home everything on the continent. You know what I'm saying? But the coronavirus is intended for the people of the sun. That's eyes in the year of 2020. You know? Yes. Yeah. Even when dealing with the Super Bowl, the 49ers is all about corona energy. It's all about sun energy, right? The gold rush. Okay? And they're going against who?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Who are they playing? Chiefs.
Kansas City.
Right? Chiefs. Kansas City. It's the middle of America, the midpoint. Kansas City is very key, as is San Francisco, right? But both of them is yes, both of them are 44 resonators certified, right? The work that we did in 2012 with Kaepernick created the corona explosion and solar activated Kaepernick into the Christ energy that he has become. And it was directly responsible for the removal of Pope Benedict and St. Francis coming in on the back of the Franciscans or the 49ers at that time. Right? We did that. I can show you the motherfucking lecture where all of that was prophesized and brought into reality, even with Pope Benedict saying, look, right after the Super Bowl that happened, he said, I had a mystical intervention that told me to step down by way of a dream. He removed himself for the first time ever, broke protocol and everything, and they brought in Pope Francis, the first Jesuit, who just met with Pence yesterday, right before this next Super Bowl. Understand? And where they played the Super Bowl at, where Kaepernick got his crystals, where he got his wings at, they was in New Orleans, right? New Orleans also played in the 44th Super Bowl, and they just came out this week and said, yo, that was the 17th best Super Bowl ever played. 1 to 7 is 8. What time did the fucking stadium go black, or it went black, half black and half white at the 13:22 mark? Like I said, I'm taking the 44 however I could get it. Okay? However I can get it. So at the 13:22 mark, the stadium goes stadium goes dark. For the people who remember the game, you could Google it. What quarter did Kaepernick go baby on baby in? He went ape shit in the fourth quarter, as it was prophesized, because the Mercedes Benz had a banner at the time, and it was like, "Watch for the fourth." You know what I'm saying? They had advertised this shit, and the motherfucker went baby on baby in the fourth quarter, right? And he gained his vintage gematria on him. His name means Prince of Peace, okay? And sacrificial fowl, a sacrificial bird going into New Orleans, goddamn it, the home of Marie Laveau. Nigga, you about to see somebody get sacrificed. And they got the fucking New Orleans girl performing on stage, Beyonce at the time. No, that was a grand ritual. That was a grand ritual. So now, today, the New Orleans Saints are embroiled in a Catholic archdiocese controversy. Let me go to the tape, goddammit. Let me go to the tape, because ain't nothing like some motherfucking proof in real time. Because like I said, I don't freestyle. Shout out to 19 Keys and what you call it, in Cambada. They the freestyle kings, right? I don't freestyle. I write my shit down, scripted, right? I cast spells. So here we go. Saints fight to shield emails and Catholic abuse crisis. You understand? And this is somebody who followed my Super Bowl Kaepernick 44 breakdown. This is the motherfucking capstone of it. All right. And like I said, the Saints played in the Super Bowl 44. They're legendary and already tied into based on how they showed up. But they also hosted the Super Bowl in 2013. Now, the 2013 is the 2012 Super Bowl season. It just plays out the next year. So the 2013 Super Bowl, where the 49ers played the Ravens, they played it in New Orleans for the first time. They opened up the Thunder, goddamn Katrina, right? Or they had that was the first time they opened up to have an event of that magnitude. The New Orleans Saints are going to court. Huh?
Not saying with that energy of Katrina and what happened with the victims is.
Yeah. Which was that was 44 energy as well. Can I you see my screen?
Yeah, I see it.
All right. The New Orleans Saints are going to court to keep the public from seeing hundreds of emails that allegedly show team executives doing public relations damage control for the area's Roman Catholic archdiocese to help it contain the fallout from a burgeoning sexual abuse crisis. Attorneys for about 24 men suing the church, saying court filing 176 documents they obtained through discovery show that the NFL team, whose owner is devoutly Catholic, aided the Archdiocese of New Orleans in its pattern and practice of concealing its crimes. Obviously, the Saints should not be in the business of assisting Archdiocese, and the Saints public is not in the business of managing the public relations of criminals engaged in, the attorneys wrote in a court filing. The Saints realized that if the documents at issue are made public, this professional sports organization will also be smearing itself. Okay? So these nasty fucks were utilizing their strength and their influence, right?
That's
because NFL teams in these cities are cultural, political, economical institutions in those cities.
That's a fact.
Because they represent so much tax revenue to those cities. Yeah, they got their hands in everything. You feel me? They pit bosses. So this is the New Orleans Saints owner in the home of voodoo, right? Sits on the sideline with his wife. This is Tom Benson. You feel me? So all of that shit was ritualistic at the time. And I'm not even saying that these people are even complicit in the ritualism. I'm just saying that energy is present. You feel me? And the results observe and see in real fucking time. Did Kaepernick not become a Christ figure?
He did.
Or they're freestyling? Because when I said that, niggas said I was fucking crazy in 2012. All right? But now you can bear witness and I can talk my shit.
Yeah, he became somebody who people did not predict. They
He
could not
became
fathom.
somebody totally different who motherfuckers could not have received when I was talking my shit back then.
Yeah, you need to
So
re-upload that show.
that's who we
People hear that.
look. It's gonna be up. I'm gonna get it up. You know what I mean? I'll pull something up real brief while we talk. I just so it can make sense to them. You know what I mean? Because throwing words at people is one thing, but showing them that's something totally different. And I like the fact that, you know, on the platform we can actually go into teaching mode.
Oh, definitely. It's a whole nother. It's a whole nother level right now. Look, you said Tom Benson died. His wife owns the Saints and the Pelicans. So you mean to tell me that Zion is owned? They own Zion on the Pelicans and they own the Saints.
Yes.
These are magical crackers. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Talking about yeah.
Talk about a new plantation. Yeah. Yeah. What better lick is that?
Yeah.
You want to talk about plantation politics?
Like,
huh? What does that check look like?
Huh?
I'm weekly.
Yeah. What that check look like? What's that hitting for?
Every Sunday, and with the basketball, damn near they running these niggas up and down 81 games. That's 81 tickets. That's 81 doors right there. That's 81 pots. That's 81 licks. Yeah, get your few million here. Give them their percentages. Let me get that. Let me get all of that vendor money, the advertisement money. You know what I mean? Give me all of that. Yo, that's better than the plantation.
Yeah. NBA TV money. NBA TV money, NFL TV money, let alone the doors, just the TV. And then the endorsements, and then the tax refund in the city from being in the city. Oh, we're in the wrong business. You'd be fighting for the wrong things.
Yeah, where the Moors that they used to own slaves? They need to own them a team or something.
We're still talking about civil rights and stupid shit like that. 51 years removed, and these niggas is running circles with your God given to fucking bounce and shoot a basketball.
They run a whole conglomerate.
Smack. Jumping out the way, Evie.
Trapping like the 80s. Niggas is not trapping like the 80s.
Trapping like the 80s. It's a wavy. Yeah, but you got any information that you want to share on the new moon though? I don't want to like be the bearer of bad news and shit.
Oh, let me read some things for the family, okay? Share my screen.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah, please do, because I don't want my that stuff to be like a exclamation point on the year. You feel me?
Nah, you came in and you gave us some of your blue pillar energy. But what I was saying to the family before I begin this, Bird Box is the movie that was bringing last year, January. It came out December 21st, right? On Netflix. Right. It was buzzing. So yeah, it was buzzing all the way into January. It was being spoken of. There were all of these things, as you see in the movie, or in the movie Bird Box. It was about contracting a virus through the eyes, right? Henceforth, the wearing of what?
Blindfold.
Blindfolds,
right?
Exactly. And boy and girl, right? The two children. And stopping them from seeing something. There was something there was a light that they were being exposed to. It was, bringing out the devil in them, right? You see the screen? Is it sharing? There you go.
Yes.
Okay. So now you see this thing in China, like you said, the corona, and it's dealing with the same thing.
Yes. We're gonna have to have corona blockers on. It's my prediction. Yes, corona blockers. They're coming with that. Block the sun.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't have no friends, hold on, melanated people. We'll go back. This is, everything got two sides. As personally, you can have a lot of friends. You could be magnetic and have a personality that carries you all the way around the world. So this is not about the individual, but as a collective, you have no friends around the world. When it means you coming back on top, everyone else is subjugated to the second class fucking position that they were used to on this planet. If you come back to your position of number one on your Zion shit, right? So you don't have no friends, and so don't think the CDC is not working with fucking China if it comes to saying, look, let's corona block these niggas. We have to block this sun. We cannot allow this sun energy like this because we all are gonna be subjugated to the back of the fucking bus when these niggas come back into prominence and dominance. Please carry on.
New moon in Aquarius, January 24th, helping us overcome obstacles and start a new path. New moons tend to blow up our emotions, but the first new moon of the year will give a boost to our emotions. It will become more visible the closer we get, with a peak on January 24th. The intensity of our emotions will plunge us into a loop, and it is good to prepare for it because it will be intense. The new moon will be in the sign of Aquarius, and it is ideal for abandoning old habits. It must be said that this time will be ideal for new starts. Even though it may seem rough at the time, it will help you evolve and develop and get you closer to your true potential. You will be faced with many intense emotions and will be dealing with things that will be considered a crisis. The square of the new moon Uranus brings uncertainty, anxiety, and unexpected change. An accumulation of nervous tension can lead to unpredictable behavior, brutality, and sudden mood swings. A strong need to assert your independence and lead to impulsiveness, rebellion, arguments, and tantrums. The best way to manage this new moon is one, openness and flexibility. Be proactive in the face of positive change. Determine why you are feeling what is causing the impending drama and chaos. A new path. Changes in your personal appearance or attitude. Okay? Changes in your personal appearance or attitude could lead to a brave new path that opens your life to many other possibilities and opportunities. It is also a good new moon to break bad habits or addictions. This would respond to your strong desire to feel free yourself from all restrictions and to assert your independence. Venus square Mars can cause relationship difficulties due to sexual or competitive tensions. Anger, lack of self control, and impulsiveness can easily exacerbate the unpredictable and shocking nature of Uranus. So, if you're already an impatient or aggressive person, try not to lose your temper, right? You know, go less beast mode and more Ryan Coogler. You know what I'm talking about? or more day cold on them. If you're dating, be careful not to lower your standards or put yourself in danger because of your impatience. Now that all of that has been said, this new moon is not going to be bad. It will also have positive sides. As usual, we will be given a moment to reflect on the things in our lives and be more present at this time. If you take the initiative during this period, you will find that you are able to overcome the obstacles you encounter on your way. One more.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, one more.
You got anything else?
Yeah, I got one more.
Uh,
And family, the moon is coming in at 4:44. You're gonna have some time to prepare yourself. You know, whether you're on the job, you know, whether you're walking in the streets or walking meditation, driving. You know, we're just putting this out right now so you could benefit for the energy of today. You know, give it a few seconds to come up. If it doesn't, that means that enough has been said. You know. January 20th. In January 2020, new moon is about making the world a better place. Of all of the phases in the lunar cycle, the new moon will always be my favorite. As the moon hides behind the shadow of the night, it provides you with a clean slate upon which you begin something new, symbolizing a moment of release and renewal. A new moon is about letting go of the past and setting your sights on the future. It is the best time to start over and get pumped about what's to come. The January 2020 new moon in particular is here to start planning your rituals and reconsidering your goals. This new moon is one you don't want to miss. Taking place in worldly, humanitarian, and radical Aquarius, this new moon is about breaking down self-inflicted barriers, paving the way for others, and acknowledging what makes you unique. Join forces with people who share the same beliefs as you and watch how your combined efforts build over time. Don't be afraid of going against the grain because you are irreplaceable. Don't be afraid of going against the grain because you are an irreplaceable diamond. You can't help but stand out. Dulling your shine in order to fit in only hinders your power. By harnessing your most authentic and honest self, you are only inspiring others to do the same, thereby contributing to a world that values freedom and respect above all. The main advice to take away from this new moon: be yourself. You'll never regret it. Whatever you begin on a new moon will reach a conclusion 6 months later when the corresponding full moon takes place. Set your intentions, make your choices, and watch how they all play out. By the time the full moon in Aquarius radiates through the sky on August 3rd at 11:59 p.m. However, there's no point in thinking that far ahead now. In the meantime, put your best foot forward. What have you got to lose?
and so if you haven't done your 2020 vision boards, if you have
Yeah.
done them, then you want to amplify your intentions by writing them, right? On a piece of paper, old school style. Shit, if you could get a pencil,
Yeah.
even better, right? How you turn lead into gold, right? You set your intentions. If you can get your pen, ballpoint pen, but write them down on a piece of paper. And your invocations should sound something like, it's a proclamation in the universe. You're not asking for anything. You're proclaiming it, right? Let's take myself in, for instance. Blue pillar, easily manifest the right to X, Y, and Z. More coherent and clear. Paul Eric Marlin, easily invoke the implementation of my empire. All right.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be more detailed about every aspect of that I want to see manifest, from the land lease to the growing of the herb, to the processing, to it, you know, everything that I want to see in my vision, I'm gonna detail it in a 10-point invocation that I'm writing immediately after 444 hits. So you have a window of time that might extend about 10 or 12 hours before it starts waning. And then it's gonna be another pocket of time that is gonna be strong. You know what I'm saying?
Put it in lead, you know, that's that's not a requirement, but it's something.
It's the best. It's better to write them down than typing them out or keeping them in your head. Be intentional. Take some time, right? Put your life force energy into that paper. That paper is living organic hope. You know what I'm saying? You know, this digital necessarily. It's a black mirror. You could do magic on this, granted, but it's not the ideal medium for what you want to invoke. You want to write that list down and you want to fucking forget about it. All right. You want to leave it. You don't want to go back and look at it. You just want to let that shit do what it do.
Shoaling.
Right?
You know.
That's the best thing. That's the best advice we can possibly give you on this day. You know, the brother read what the energy of the particular day is about, and now we're explaining how to harness that energy. Don't miss the opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Opportunity. And this is what this year is about. And this is, if this is the mouth of the year, the top of the year, then this is how you set the tone and the pace for the rest of the year. This is the point from which all points emanate, right? So when you set your intention early, right, you're going to start like a ripple, a whirlpool effect, or we're just going to hit all of these other nodes or these other months that you're going to be, you know, seconding that intention and that invocation. Especially, you're going to be even more fortified to do it because you're going to see part of it starting to manifest. You're like, oh, this is, oh, I'm on it to one of these. And you keep setting intentions on your nodes, and it's going to amplify that power and that shadow to go even further. You know what I'm saying? That's how that's done. And it's not spooky. Yes, we do one-on-one consulting. So holler at me on the Gmail. Shout out to everybody who has responded to the investment opportunity that we have presented for the Tucson trip. You know, we're going to the mineral show to get some of these amplifying medicinal stones and gems. So once again, not only can we be super intentional, but you utilize any and every goddamn thing in your disposal to amplify your intentions. That's what type of year it is. I feel like there's $1 billion out there waiting for me. I gotta use everything. I'm throwing everything at it. You dig what I'm saying? I ain't leaving nothing to chance. So yeah, we're going to Arizona to get the best of the best. You feel me? And we invite you to join us. Peace, God.
And to be investors.
All right, peace.
You know.
Yes. And there's different things. You know, you could get your stones for your personal. You could get stones for jewelry. People always ask, yo, you ain't got your jewelry. I'm going to get my jewelry. Okay. I'm going to get the raw material for the jewelry. You can invest in that. You can invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying? These are pieces that you need in your own personal space and on your own personal person. So we are allowing or allocating the means in which, you know what I'm saying, you can obtain them things. So you can email me at that same email, bluepillar44. All right. But let me read some of this because I don't have too long. All right. I got one for you to read before I get into this, Red. Ready? This one special. This is for you. I don't know if you've seen this in the news yet. You heard? You see that? You can read the screen?
It ain't pop up yet. Yeah. The job could give them PTSD. Ain't that
YouTube
right?
moderators are being forced to sign a statement acknowledging a job can give them PTSD. Content moderators for YouTube are being ordered to sign a document acknowledging that performing a job can cause post-traumatic stress disorder, according to interviews with employees and documents obtained by The Verge. Essential, which operates a moderation site for YouTube in Austin, Texas, distributed the document to workers on December 20th, 4 days after The Verge published an investigation into PTSD amongst workers at the facility. I understand the content I will be reviewing may be disturbing. Reads the document, right? The PTSD statement comes at the end of a 2-page acknowledgement form, and it is surrounded by a thick black border to sign its importance. It may be the most explicit acknowledgement yet from a content moderator that the job now being done by tens of thousands of people around the world could come with severe mental health consequences. You understand? So, family, if they are acknowledging openly that the content that is created is creating depression and post-traumatic stress, you feel me? What you think it's doing to you? Right? So you have to be so keen these days. Like the brother said, 2020 is dealing with sight and vision, but you don't only see with your eyes. You know, what you're hearing, what you're exposing yourself to in all means, in all facets. You know what I'm saying? Be making you cuckoo.
That's right.
Could be driving you crazy, could be stressing you out, could be disturbing you, making you mentally ill. You see these niggas, I ain't gonna say no names, but they got certified mental cases on YouTube that people follow. They got followers in the hundreds of thousands.
Oh yeah, they got some basket cases.
This is verifiable, right? So yeah, you could get a coronavirus by observing these niggas. You getting the coronavirus by observing these niggas. Right? So let me get into this real quick. Let me get past this. You see my screen?
Yeah. I see it.
Out the way. All right. The NFL is a 44 resonator. Why? Well, not only because they have 32 teams that are broken into 16, and they broke those into 4 divisions, and the field is masonically separated, by 40 and 40 on the other, separated by a 50-yard line anyway. But the goddamn commissioner makes $44 million, which is 44 times the size of a median salary of an NFL player. So he's a 44 resonator himself. And another 44 resonator had 4 resonator in order to consecrate the whole aspects of it being 44. Obama. I got some info. Oh, bro, I got some info on Barry O. Shit. It ain't over yet. This was the law 40 forever made me a legend. All right. And this is when I prophesied before the Giants game, Super Bowl against the Patriots back when. I said that the game is not only going to be won by New York, but it's going to be won. We did a pre-show, the Super Bowl started, and I prophesied, huh? Said what?
Yeah, not say ample.
Yeah, I prophesized on the show that number 44 would win the game, and that's exactly what happened. And then Bradshaw, he said that, he said that he was told not to do the not to run the ball in. He said it's something it said something, energy kind of like turned him around and thrust him into the end zone. He didn't do what I'm gonna say. Something overtook him and made him do that, turn around and fall into the end zone. That was that law 44 energy on him. Even when he went to the Colts just started exploding with 44 energy, all the way down to Andrew Luck, signing up to 44 million. I think that he did too. Right. So it's all kind of 44 energy dealing specifically with the Giants as it pertains to when they would play their games against New Orleans. These games became the precedent-setting games for who would win the elections. So Kane, all of that took place, and when the Giants was playing the Patriots in Arizona, right? And the same thing happened when he beat up on Mitt Romney. But then we fast forward, and we look at the Mike Vick energy. This Mike Vick energy, this number 7 energy, got eclipsed initially by Kaepernick. You know what I'm saying? This time Kaepernick had beat him out in order to get into the next round, right? Of which he threw for 244 yards. And this is his breakout game. This is when he started putting the points on the board and people started paying attention to him. And then he knocked down the Hawks and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Not the Hawks, the Falcons.
Because he was the Falcons. Because he was fighting for that Heru energy himself, a Scorpio, a Phoenix, and he was going against the number 44 play at the time, who was his main adversary to this day, Ray Lewis, who had 44 tackles. So it was a battle of the 44s in Gematria, and it was also a lot of religious connotations about this game because Ray Lewis was repackaging himself as a child of God, and Kaepernick was packaging himself as a child of God, right? He was being criticized for his tattoos and his appearance, but he's like, shit, my tattoos is saying that, like, I fuck with God. You know what I'm saying? Why y'all hating? This is not gang tattoos. I'm a child of God. And yeah, he got 444 yards, 4 total touchdowns against the Green Bay Packers. All of this was just leading up to him playing that Super Bowl. You feel me? And aligning this whole battle between this 7 energy, this God energy, and this dude who is, like I said, a Scorpio from Wisconsin. Wisconsin is on the 44-degree parallel line. Green Bay was one of the very first teams that I had prophesized in terms of them winning. They beat the Steelers that year, and nobody said that they was going to win. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, they're going to win. This is a 44 team. That was my first prediction. It was Green Bay. Whatever year that Super Bowl was, it might have been 2010 or some shit like that. But, I just tracked all of the 44s in his career. He had mad 44s in his career, right? The tattoo god of Super Bowl 47. Colin Kaepernick talks God determining Super Bowl outcome. Kaepernick says, God has brought me this far. I can't do nothing but thank him. Colin Kaepernick glorifying God on the gridiron, right? This is the shit that y'all don't follow, right? Biological, right?
Mm-hmm.
He met his biological mother the year that he was playing that Super Bowl. His moms came around. His biological mother, she was 44 years old at the goddamn time. So we do the gematria of Kaepernick. Kaepernick's numbers are 876, which means Prince of Peace. Joseph, File, 77, right? Which if you 7 times 7 is 49. He played for the 49ers. It means sacrifice and glory. We know who the foul bird is, right? So the Super Bowl has a tendency of doing sun, solar, corona rituals. What you think the motherfucking ring was on the titty, okay, of Janet Jackson. Now I ask people this shit all the time because they don't know history. What created YouTube? What was the creation of YouTube founded upon? Do you know, Red Pill?
Yeah, it was the video Nipplegate.
Nipplegate, yes.
On the other network.
It was February 2nd, right? February 2nd is when they had the Super Bowl. This showed her nipple. That was the in bulk celebration. It was a Celtic celebration dealing with the lactating of the mother goddess. So the milk from that fucking ritual gave birth to one of the biggest platforms on the planet to this day. That we're fucking they were on right now. Talking about her nipple. Right? That's some hell of a milk. Wesley, they should be bottling that now. All right, so Marie Laveau, right, to your upper right-hand corner, that is the mother priestess that was down there in New Orleans doing all that work, right? So this is the thing that I had wrote back in 2012 when we were getting the investment deck together for the Super Bowl that was coming up, because you know we this is the game that we sold. And so it is, here we are, and all the players are present for the biggest ritual on earth. It involves God, Yahweh, Christ, Mary, Joseph, all the saints, and one big altar where the black magicians patiently await their sacrifice. Ray Lewis is resonating strongly with Yahweh energy. Not only has he invoked him continuously in his campaign for glory, but using gematria, we see Kabbalistically his jersey number 52 equals Yahweh, if you spell it out, Yad Hard Vehad. And his name also holds Yahweh energy. That is an unprecedented correlation of mystical proportions, especially for someone who comes under so much scrutiny for his unexplained talent, i.e. the deer antler controversy. Remember that, y'all? The number also resonates with the word bin, which means sun, and Tipperoth, which is the sixth Sephiroth on the tree of life, which equates to sun. He hails from Mary's land, which is playing in the land of Mary Laveau to be exact. San Francisco Friars of St. Francis of Assisi, i.e. the San Francisco 49ers, come marching in to the home of the Saints. They will be helmed by Colin Kaepernick, the Scorpion prodigy experiencing his meteoric rise to fame. The Phoenix, or the rising sun from the gold, Kabbalistically equals the number 876, which equals Prince of Peace, which explains his Christ energy shining through. The fact that both of these players have constantly invoked God into the collective conscious is not up for dispute. Why? The outcome of tonight's game. He has even with scripture scrawled all over his frame to bring attention to his beliefs. In accordance with his name and his personage, 876 also equals fowl, or the game bird. The game is normally the one selects. Christ makes the ultimate sacrifice, and New Orleans is the ultimate altar. Saint Assisi is one of the most revered saints because he was the first one to experience stigmata, the evidence of Christ's sacrifice for the world's sin. The 49ers are 49 and 7 times 7, or 76. You see, his name also equals to Joseph, the father of the Christ. In this mystical, magical matchup, we are seeing the energies of the Father versus the Son, the light versus the dark, the more coronated by Beyonce Knowles returning to her Creole roots of Louisiana. All right. The silvery moon is casting a reflection of a sun principle. As the bird of death descends, time for an offering. Okay. That's what I wrote in 2012 to set the motherfucking stage for what happened in that game. Right? I got some more.
Fine.
Now I don't
Well,
consider, huh?
yeah, go ahead.
So what? I don't consider
Go
myself
ahead.
religious at all, but I am awoke. Right? I was using the word awoke in 2012, bro. Rated that shit. I am awoke being one. This is the oldest one on the planet, playing out for all of us to see. The rising sun, Horus Heru, versus the setting sun, Set. Look, don't blame me. You have to be blind fool not to notice the religious spiritual connotations they have by marketing this showdown. I'm just showing you that one team's sun's rays are setting while another teams are shining. You be the judge. Goes to the 49ers. Furthermore, if I was solely weighing my bet on the four vibrations, we can clearly see that the 49ers break down to 13. And this game is taking place in 2013 or 213, which equals 44 or 444. So that alone has me as the team to beat. If we dig a little bit deeper so we can make sense of what we're seeing rather than guess or speculate, we know that the ancient saying goes as, what does that mean and what does it have to do with the Super Bowl? Well, in the cosmos, we have a configuration order in Gemini. What this means is that we are more prone to bear witness to events or things that mirror one another or twin one another. Like you have a hurricane, have a Sandy Hook, both catastrophic in proportion, but catalysts for change. In the Super Bowl, you have two brothers, and that they both have playing against one another, brother versus brother. But who will win is true playing for the same. To the end of the day, a hard ball is going to win. Interesting analogy. Kaepernick has twin Michael Vick. As a Scorpio, he was able to absorb the Falcon/Eagle energy and morph it into his own personal powers because as a Scorpion, he has the Phoenix powers to rise and embody the motif of the hero or the Heru for the whole world to bear witness. For my religious/spiritual heads, this will be equivalent to the sun rising in the west during this prescribed time that the whole world was looking for that sign on the horizon right after December 21st, 2012. As a mixed seed, of course, he is mirroring or twinning the other messianic figure that has captured the world's attention representing the West, but stationed in the East. Still in the West Wing, though, and that's Barack Obama, who benefited from the last Super Bowl, which mirrored his election. This seemed the governor from in twin his first victory 4 years ago when the just as he would pull the upset off and defeat the patriotic establishment who felt they were invincible because of their unblemished record of regular season wins. Now we talking about the Patriots, right? So Jupiter and Gemini, what happened? Huh? The whole Jupiter and Gemini aspect is black and white. Hence the fact that she was wearing black and white. The stadium went black and white when it went out, right? The time was at 13:22. The score was, look, Mercedes that guarantee a thrilling fourth quarter. Come on now. And they got the fire on the 13th. All right. And then immediately it happened. Immediately after that, the resignation of Pope Benedict, right? Super Bowl was February 2nd. He stepped down February 28th after announcing, right, 9 days after the Super Bowl, on the morning of February 11th, that he was going to be stepping down. Okay? Half of American fans see supernatural forces at playing sports. A supernatural, right? God, right? God told him to resign. Experience. Okay. They brought in the fucking Jesuits, right? For the very first time, the fucking Pope does video messages before the Super Bowl. That's never been done. Come on now. That's that. Just like that. So you gotta
say it again.
I said just like that. You gotta preview. I'm gonna be doing something leading up to the Super Bowl because I got more information. But
yeah, that was just wetting the
I make a run.
appetite. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, put together that stream for the family so they could get their tickets and tap in with you before the Super Bowl, like like you did in 2012. Keep the tradition going. But that's that's good. We an hour and a half into the show. It's good. We're gonna wrap it up. Third Eye Thursday, we were not able to do that. I was tapped in with Brother Rich and Bada. Shout out to Brother Rich. We have an episode coming out called Boss Talk. I'm sure you're gonna love that segment, Blue. Shout out to Gambada, like I said, he just wrapped up the double album LSD. The only feature on the album is a song that's featuring me for 24 hours, a classic already. Shout out to the brothers, working on Scorpion King 2. And shout out to KT the Arch Degree, who we will have as a guest coming very soon on Nevertheless Radio, along with a few other people. But with that being said, y'all, yeah, Blue has some. Go ahead.
Yeah, I gotta make a move. You know what I'm saying? We're in the middle of a business day, so gotta make my moves. Thank you for everybody who has taken time, because I'm sure that you got things to do as well. So I don't want to minimize the sacrifice, but I shared a lot. You got a lot to wrap your mind around. Nonetheless, thank you for taking time out, get me up in the building. All right.
Indeed, no doubt. All right, yo.
Much success for the rest of the time.
You too. February 22nd, Fact Initiative in Connecticut. February 22nd.
Oh no, you guys stick around for a while. Give something else.
Huh?
I say you guys stick around. Give him like 10 more minutes. Give him something else.
No, I gotta go.
All right.
It's supposed to be an hour. So I gotta run. All right, peace.
Yeah.
We'll get back on Melon Monday, but I got business. Like I said, Facts Initiative, Facts 2020, Connecticut, February the 22nd. That is going to be monumental. Me and Blue, we're working on some powerful solutions and some great news. I can't wait to roll out what we're going to roll out and get this thing jump started. So, and this will also be live streamed. You'll be able to witness this interactively. So make sure y'all go ahead and hit them up, get the tickets, go to Eventbrite, Facts Initiative 2020. Contact 203-841-9039. And I'm also letting the family know, especially on a day like this where this is about affirmations, I'm asserting that, my business model is definitely beginning to change. We're going to be doing a lot more, such as this, a lot more face to face. I'm currently in the process of launching a consulting firm. Okay, I'm doing online consultations, dealing with business, dealing with just aspects of brainstorming with businesses, or creators, things of that nature. You'll hear about it in a video entitled Boss Talk with Brother Rich. And I'm also going to be doing a lot more home-based work. a lot more teaching, and the 1,000, I'm still putting out the 1,000 fan theory. So 1 of 1,000, I want everybody that want to participate in this upcoming, um, I would just say income stream, because that's what it is. It's an income stream where multiple opportunities are going to be given, where 1,000 of us are going to be able to utilize formulas. These formulas are going to be very simple. You know, I'm about perfecting things and simplifying them. So, um, those that are interested, send me your email, because I'm going to sign up everyone that's interested, and I'm going to cap it at 1,000 people, and then we're going to do some work. So, those who are really, looking to do something new, those who want to ride with Brother Red, with KTL, with Facts Initiative, Facts 2020. I mean, I already have a few thousand people signed up for Facts. So we already have our 1,000 theoretically. But, just a lot more work, you know what I'm saying? And with that being said, Melanin Mondays, we will be back. Go to Kings County, go and check out the new pieces that we got. We got vintage pieces. We're going to be launching a new site, KNGZKNTY, coming very, very soon. Um, Look out for that. That's going to be a very dope site, KNGZ. Okay. Yeah. Hit up the Cash App. Like I said, I'm not sure if y'all know or not. There is no, what you gonna call it? What do they call that thing? Super chat. Yeah, there's no super chat. So hit that Cash App up, money sign, Phil Moreland, and hit up Blue Pillar 44. Hit up my brother, Dr. Valentine. All right. Everybody that tapped into the Valentine show, you know, that is just that's just the beginning. You know what I'm saying? KTL Radio 2020. That's just the beginning. This whole year is gonna be lit. Believe me when I tell you. All right. But with that being said, I'll see you on Monday. Peace.